didn't understand, didn't know.
Oh, am I on Teams doing this?
Jacob Galveo, he's our Legislative Services Coordinator. He's joining us today just to listen in if we have any questions or anything like that.
And what is his name?
Jacob?
Jacob. Oh, hi, Jacob.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, like Hannah said, I'm just here if you guys have procedural questions. I understood that you guys had a closed session last time, so I'll just be here if you guys need any help.
Perfect. Welcome.
Okay, so I'm going to read the streaming notice, okay?
Okay, yes, we're ready to roll.
Today's meeting is being streamed live on the Township of Ramara's YouTube channel. To those present in the gallery today by attending a public meeting of the Ramara's Committee, you are consenting to your image, voice, and comments being recorded. Anyone who is invited to speak will be recorded and their voice, image, and comments will form part of the live stream. The chair, secretary, and/or director of infrastructure have the discretion and authority at any time to direct the termination or interruption of the live streaming. Such direction will only be given in exceptional circumstances where deemed relevant. Circumstances may include instances where the content of debate is considered misleading, defamatory, or potentially inappropriate to be published. Attendees are advised that they may be subject to legal action if their actions result in inappropriate and/or unacceptable behavior and/or comments. I will now pass the meeting back to the chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hannah, and welcome, Dana.
Like Will's to do all that.
Dana, are you on? Can you hear me, Dana?
Yes, I can, Larry. Thank you, and sorry to be a few minutes late. I was having trouble with my internet.
It's all good. Item 2.1, we have a motion that the committee adopt the Ramara Trails Committee agenda dated March the 20th, 2023.
Mike, a move.
23. Could I have a move?
Does he know the fonts?
Mike, was it?
Oh, those fonts.
And a seconder?
Okay.
I'll second it, Kathy.
David, thank you. Any questions, discussion?
My computer's old. It's 3.5 years old.
Getting some,
Mike?
sorry to interrupt, getting some audio from some, I don't know if anybody else is getting it.
Yeah, we're getting background noise.
It's been muted. You guys are good.
It should be good there now.
Okay.
The only thing I have in 2.1, that's just a typo. It should be 2024, not 2023.
Yes. Thinking. Anything else? All in favor of the motion? Carried. Item 3.1, that the committee adopt the Ramara Trails Committee meeting minutes dated February the 21st, 2024 is presented.
I have a correction.
Yes, Charlotte?
So just under, I think it's under item number 4, section C, Orkney Beach Road. I just wondered, I was hoping that it could be changed just to say, Charlotte mentioned she'd spoken with the school public health nurse and asked her to reach out to the principal of Upton Grove Public School to discuss promoting active transportation. It's just because there's a process with the way I have to funnel everything through the school health nurse for any contact with the schools. And I know these are public minutes and I don't want to get in trouble.
Hannah,
So-
were you able to get that?
Yep, I was able to get that. I had spoke previously to Charlotte about this correction. We just need a mover and a seconder, and for everyone to agree.
Could I have someone to move the motion that change be made?
Mike, a move.
It's Dana, seconder, Dana. Steve moved, Dana seconded. Anything
Thank you.
else? Okay, item 3.2, that the committee adopt the Ramara Trails Committee closed session meeting minutes dated February 21st, 2024 as presented. Someone move that, please. Paul, second Charlotte. Any questions? Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Item number 4.1, the update on the Narrows pedestrian bridge. I guess David or Dana, can either of you speak to that, or maybe Josh? I'm not sure.
No, I can speak to it. So I got a call about a month ago from Tim Lawler, who is one of the counselors in Aurelia. And he wanted to get the Narrows pedestrian bridge project back on track. I don't know if anybody who knows about it, who doesn't, but about 3 years ago, I guess, we submitted a application for a $15 million grant between the First Nations and Ramara and Aurelia, and we didn't get the grant, and it sort of just died on the vine. Tim wants to get this going again, so we had our first meeting last week, and Snowmobile Club was there, a bunch of people from Aurelia, a bunch of people from First Nations, and we basically just decided that we're going to get this project moving again. And what the only ask from the first meeting was to go back to the Trails Committee and back to your local councils and just inform them and make sure that everybody's still on side that this is a worthwhile project and we should push it. Even though it came out in the meeting that, the cost of the project's probably gone up substantially, and we're only going to build this bridge if we get the grants that we need, because we don't have what was originally $15 million could be up as high as $25 million now. So it's just I just want to let everybody know that those meetings has started. Make sure that the group is behind us continuing or me continuing. The mayor will also be involved because the county of Simcoe obviously has a stake in this as well. So that's sort of the update. There is a lot of stuff on the web about the original proposals. If you Google probably just pedestrian bridge Atherley, I'm not sure what the official name of the project is, but I'm sure you'd find it pretty quickly with all the prototypes of the original bridge and that. And anyways, there's going to be another meeting next month. But obviously that would be a great addition, and I'll keep everybody up to date. That's it. Unless you got questions.
Yeah, just want to make sure I'm clear. So it would connect the Ramara Trail with the Aurelia trail system that goes along past the park and along Atherley Road. Is that right?
Yeah, you know where the old swing bridge is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll come along our trail.
Yeah.
It'll obviously, the bridge will start more close to the shoreline in Ramara because it's got to get up high to get as high as that other bridge, and then it'll come down on the other side. It'll basically pedestrians, bicycles, snowmobiles, walking. There's one is the bridge, and then off the bridge is a boardwalk, which is going to go over the fishing weirs, which are about 5,000 years old, and try to get it's more of a historical thing, which is an angle on getting the funding as well.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thanks.
Anything else?
I just put in the chat the link from what was on the Aurelia site around the project, so you can read it if you want.
I'm sorry, where'd you put that?
It's in the Zoom chat.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
I think it would be appropriate if we had a motion that the Trails Committee warrant David to continue to monitor this and attend the meetings and update the council and the Trails Committee with information that as it comes available. Could someone approve that motion? Charlotte, a seconder? Kathy, any questions on the motion? Comments? All in favor? Carried. Thank you, David. That's it would be wonderful if that could happen. It's unfortunately it's very expensive, but I think would be a great historical piece of work for the future. Sustainable Aurelia, a bicycle challenge. I don't know where this came from. Charlotte.
Yeah, it's me.
Huh.
It's all me.
Yes.
So, so I'm working with Sustainable Aurelia to organize a bicycle challenge. They did it last year. They had about 50 people participate. So I'm going to read out just the information I have, and I will send this to Hannah to put in the minutes. So the event is an open challenge to the public from Sustainable Aurelia and the health unit to ride your bike to work or school for an entire month. And it's measured as a 4-week period, not a calendar month. The kilometers and number of trips are being recorded using Strava. And at the end of the challenge, the winners are declared based on the Strava data and they receive prizes. So we'll have some prizes available. The challenge is not limited to Aurelia residents and is open to anyone in Simcoe County. So that's why I'm bringing it up here. The route is left up to the individual participant as their trips are not supervised. They won't have any particular routes defined as a challenge is not a race, but it's a personal challenge to do their best to ride instead of driving or being driven in a car to work or school. Recreational biking kilometers on trails is where we come in, also count in the challenge. The time of year, so our kickoff meeting will be, we're hoping for April 22nd. We don't have a location yet pinned down, but that's the date we're hoping to do a little kickoff. And that'll be an information learning session. So I'm going to be doing a little blurb about health and cycling. We've got Travis from Cycle Simcoe who's agreed to come. And we were sort of hoping that maybe municipal councilors from the surrounding municipalities might be willing to make an appearance and speak about awesome things like, I don't know, a pedestrian bridge. So some, things like that would be amazing. So the actual challenge will be, we're hoping that it'll happen May 17th. And end on June the 11th. So that will encompass National Bike to Work Day as well as Bike to School Week. So we're also going to be sending the information out through the school health, public health nurse to let the schools know. So because our school public health nurse has contacts with all the schools in and around Aurelia, so that can be promoted in school newsletters for families so that they can, if they want to participate, they can also sign up. So, and I think that was all I was supposed to share. And like I said, really, really hoping that Ramara might like to promote it in their social media. Once we're still working on a catchy title, because the title we have right now is not catchy. It's kind of boring. And it would be nice to have something that people would recognize and that we can maybe reuse year after year. Yeah, so, and again, hoping for a Ramara counselor to perhaps like to come to the kickoff.
Well, thank you, Charlotte. Any questions of Charlotte? What is the date again? It was May 17th to June the?
June the 11th is what we're kind of planning. It might get tweaked, but right now that's what we have. And the kickoff event, we're hoping to be in the evening of April 22nd.
And the week is from, or the weeks are from May the 17th to June the 11th.
Yeah, and that's so that we can get in National Bike to Work Day and the Bike to School Week.
And so do we bike every day or a week?
So what you'd do is you'd sign up through Strava and you'd log in your kilometers during that time period, and there'll be various prizes given out. I think last year was for the person that cycled the most kilometers. They had different categories. That's Sustainable Aurelia's jam. I leave that up to them. But yeah, and it's not, like I said, it's not a race. It's whatever you cycle counts, and you just enter it into Strava.
So I did it last year. And so, yeah, you just like, you don't have to use Strava. Last year, they also had like paper documents. You could just keep track that way if you want. Strava is a cycling app that it's a little like it tracks you. So some people don't like that version of it because it knows when you're out and about and where you went and all that stuff. But yeah, and so there's some people that biked a lot of kilometers, and then other people, the goal was just to be on your bike every day. And so it was a nice little challenge, and I really love the idea of us picking up the social media piece to encourage people to get out on the Ramara trails for that 4-week period. I think that's a really good suggestion.
That's what I was thinking, because I mean, you've got people that just live just outside of Aurelia too. So if they wanted to cycle to work, they could use the Ramara trails for that. It's the same for, there's a counselor in Severn that's pretty keen to help promote it too. And I still have to approach Tora Madani, but we figured, because a lot of people live in the surrounding municipalities and they come into Aurelia for work. And so, yeah, and I thought it would be a great way to promote those connections, like between all those areas.
Hi, Ashley. I was just going to say, where is Ashley?
I was just waiting for everyone to just provide all their information. What I would probably recommend is that the Trails Committee support this initiative, like through their minutes, and so that way it provides me that guidelines to then share and really promote the trails that we have here in Ramara. And then if you would like a counselor or like our deputy mayor or mayor to attend the event, we do have a form online for those requests, and I can send it to you, Charlotte, so
Yeah,
that
that'd be
organization can then put that request in, and then I can see who is able to attend.
Perfect.
Anything else? Well, thank you, Charlotte. And I think that's a neat, it's a really good idea to get people out on the trails, I think, especially the kids. If there's prizes, and they'll probably really get into it.
Yeah, we had a bunch last year, and we also have a partnership, because I'm the facilitator for the On the Move initiative, which I don't know if anybody knows about that, but it promotes active transportation to and from school. And so we have one school that is taking part in that initiative in Aurelia. So this challenge, they also loop in that school. So it's very cool. So, and I thought it'd be a great idea for this committee. See, I'm not really maybe awesome at the work bees, but I have got this. This I can do.
I think, again, Hannah, should we have a motion to receive this and support it?
Yes.
So could you put together, would you make a motion, Charlotte, or would you like help?
Help?
Can you make a motion?
Yep, I think I need help.
Okay.
Hannah, help?
Well, I could maybe, I would move that we receive your report on the bicycle challenge and support that initiative.
And then I request I use the form to request mayor and council. Is that
counselor.
part of it too?
A counselor, yes. Okay, Hannah,
Yep. Sounds good. We just need
could I have someone to move that motion?
Yeah, we should have a chat offline.
Kathy, a seconder.
We should have a small chat.
Steve, thank you. All in favor of the motion? Carried.
Okay.
Item number 4.3. Mike, can you speak to the financial statement that we have?
I'm back, sir. We got a snowstorm up here.
Oh,
Sorry? Say that
Said
again.
I'm back. We've got a snowstorm up here. We lost our internet connection.
Oh, okay.
yes, the financial statement is sent to us from Steve from the township office, which I thank him for. As you can see, we have revenue for 2023 of 128,000. And we have expenses of 145,000. So we are roughly overspent by $16,000 for the year, mainly because of the trail work that we've been doing on line 15. And we've brought in the reserves from that we've had carry forward. I'm welcome to take any questions.
The 79,408, the budget remaining. So that's the amount of money available to us at this moment.
That's the 2024 budget. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
We've spent 75,000 of the 24. Well, actually, we haven't spent very little money in 24.
So our revenue for this year is $80,000.
Yes.
And the trail study and work that's proposed is 75,000. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's basically 75,000 for the casino trail.
Okay. Okay, and well, I guess, first of all, yes, any questions of Mike? Could I have a motion, Mike, that we receive this?
I move that we receive the financial statement as prepared by the township staff.
Seconder? Kathy? All in favor of the motion? Carried. Okay, project and trail updates. The Atherley Trail. Paul?
There's nothing new there. It's the gates are still open. Of course, snowmobiling is over. So in due course, we can put a couple of the center posts back in, but that won't be for a month or more yet.
Josh, do you have any comment or update on the casino? I'm assuming that's part of the Atherley Trail.
Not yet, no, we're still working on design with Rama First Nations.
Okay. Any other questions? The Washago Trail. Steve, are you here?
We keep losing people due to the snowstorm. They keep having power surges.
Oh dear. The sun is shining here. Well, I guess Josh, do we have an update on Simcoe County permission to use 46?
No, we don't yet, no.
Okay.
Did those people walk the 13?
Sorry?
Did the Gananoqua Trail, did they walk the 13th to see if
No.
that was viable?
No, well, I didn't hear back.
Okay.
So good question. So I will contact them and find out what happened. And the Bayshore Trail, Kathy? You're muted?
Had to find my mute. No, I don't have any updates. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess, Josh, there's no update from you regarding Orkney Beach.
No, it'll be late summer, probably. It is township owned between the properties.
Yeah,
It is open for use. The gates were supposed to have been removed, so it is township property now.
yeah. So people can be using it now then.
Yeah, correct, yes.
I guess, can we change the signing?
Yeah, we should be able to. We'll have to get some ordered. Yeah,
That would be good. That would get them off, stop them from crossing 12, and we could take those signs down.
yeah.
Yeah,
we'll look into that.
can we, Ashley, do some media on that once we make that change? So that's pretty significant.
Ashley?
Yeah, so we did apply for a grant to do that work for the signage through the Simcoe County. So once we hear from them, we can get everything ordered, and then we can have the appropriate social media go out and the update to the mapping. But I think it would be, because we already applied for the grant, just to wait until we receive that information. We should hear probably in the next month or two.
Well, a month or two. I'm just wondering also about like Cycle Simcoe or Simcoe County. Like, we need to let them know also somehow.
Well, when we get, so this is a bigger thing, because then we're going to be actually redoing the cycling route. And so once we get that signage, we can then go ahead and update all the various mapping and whatnot that goes along with it. So Simcoe County already knows that will be happening, that route will be changed and it will go through there. But waiting for the actual signage and whatnot, I think, is good. So that way everything is in place for when people are really out there cycling and getting through. I know we have a little bit of snow and people are still kind of getting out there, but I think waiting would be good.
And you're thinking, so before we can do that, we have to get, the grant has to be approved? Is that what sort of, okay. And you're guessing that'll be a month or two?
Yep, we applied. It was due last month in February, so it's already been a month. So I would think it would be coming back. It goes to the county council for their approval, so we should be hearing usually we hear by May, the latest. Usually around May.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? This is a really big thing, I think. It's just so important that this has happened. And thank you, Josh, and counselors, and it's just it's really been a thorn in our side for quite a few years. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's been the township as a whole. It's been council and a lot of staff in the township, not just infrastructure, it's building, planning, legislative services. It's been everybody's kind of had a hand in this. So
yeah. Thank you then. Moving on. The Lagoon City Trail. I don't have anyone assigned, do I, except myself?
Right.
Charlotte, what trail, have we given you a trail? No.
No, I don't know if I don't know if I'd be a good option for that one.
Yeah, that's okay. The Lagoon City Trail, I've been in and I've closed the gates to protect the herons. And some herons were back. Well, I saw 4, but it wasn't a very nice day. And that's all there. And the South Ramara Trail, I have nothing on that one. Any questions on any of the trails? Okay. Grants, Ashley?
Good morning. So far, there hasn't been any feedback from the 2 that we did apply for. So we applied for both the TCT and the County of Simcoe grant. That was last month, but I haven't heard any results. But once I do, I will forward them your way.
Okay, thank you. Unfinished or new business? Anyone have anything? Okay,
There is an item there for new additional trailhead parking that I was asked to put in.
yes, right, sorry, 7-1, thank you.
problem.
Yes, David, Dana, maybe Dana, could you comment on that? I think it came from the council meeting.
Yes, at our most recent council meeting, and feel free to jump in to correct me if I'm wrong, Josh or Ashley, since I'm not really familiar with the Lagoon City trailhead. But it's my understanding that due to some trees coming down, we've got some room available for additional parking spaces. And this was, I think, initially brought up to make it more accessible for ice fishermen, but it came up regarding spots on the trails, and specifically they were hoping to implement it as a pay parking spots with the Honk app. And David had jumped in to try to indicate that that was never the intent of the Trails Committee. But so I think that the way that it was left was that the spots that we have open now would remain free, and that the new spots created would be pay parking via Honk.
Josh, so is Laguna Parkway all paid parking now?
Not currently, no. So there is gonna be sections of it that are gonna be created paid parking. More so up towards the marina than where the current walking trail is. So it'll kind of be north of Poplar. Once you get over the bridge towards the marina and the sewage plant there. There's gonna be paid parking along the edge of the road and areas there. The three parking spots at the trailhead are gonna remain free for trail use, but there is gonna be additional parking along the road edge for any use, really.
I'm sort of confused. So are they suggesting paid parking because there's so many people parking there, trail people parking? Is that why?
No, it's not for the trails. The conversation was more geared towards the marina. And parking up around the marina, more so along Paradise than Laguna, but it was extended down Laguna as overflow. But to be like, anytime I've always been down there, have it be not the weekends, just during the week. I've never had any parking issues over in that area at all, so.
Yeah,
it came from discussions in the meeting.
Well, thank you. I'm down that road a lot. And I never see a parking problem other than there are a few cars that maybe 3 or 4 trail people.
Yeah.
And so I guess personally, and I'm saying this for David and Dana's benefit, I guess, I detest parking signs if they're not needed. Why we do it, and it's not just there, it's all around the municipality. We've got all this parking stuff going. I know in some areas it's needed, but oh my goodness.
I think it's more geared towards the special events. There was some parking concerns with the car show, I believe. And it got tight for even emergency services to get in there. So I think it's all kind of stemming from that, from special events, more than regular day-to-day parking in the area. So.
Yeah, so in my head, I was at the special events too, the car show, and I know there were a lot of people there. Yeah. But maybe we could have just a temporary no parking sign rather than clutter up our area and have the odd person that wants to come and use the trail pay. I'm just so opposed to that kind of thinking. But anyway, I don't have a vote, but I really, I think, oh my goodness, why are we putting more no parking signs up when parking isn't really a problem, except maybe 2 days out of the year or 4 days out of the year? Just
Kathy does have her hand up, Larry, for a comment or question.
who does?
Kathy.
Kathy, where are you?
Yeah, no, Larry, I just want to reinforce what you're saying and add to that I think it's not a great precedent to have paid parking where you have access to trails, because then you're restricting people the amount of time that they can be on the trails and whether they choose to go on our trails because they have to pay for parking. So I would just like to reinforce that I would, if there are spaces for people to park, I would like them to be accessible and free for people. So I'm just worried, I guess, Dana, with your comment about starting to creep into our trail access and putting paid parking in those areas. So just want that recorded.
Yeah, the three parking spots are going to remain free right at the trailhead. That's not going away. And it's not becoming paid parking. It's just putting additional parking. But even when I have seen, like, I'm in there quite a bit, especially with summer operations of the harvesting and the canals and that. And there's an odd time you see 3, maybe 4 vehicles there, but for the most part, it's 1 or 2, and there's no concerns. So,
yeah. I mean, I think, I'm thank you for the 3 spots, but I really think it would be wonderful if the whole thing was free. I mean, I just see at a time when we're trying to encourage our public to get outside and exercise and cycle and walk and hike and all of that kind of thing, why are we putting up parking signs to limit it and to sort of put in roadblocks? I mean, I know at a time, there could be a time when this is needed. I mean, if there comes a time when that whole road is full of cars because people are hiking or doing things, then there will be a need to do in what I think council is thinking of doing. But now I see no need for special events. That can be dealt with as a special situation, not as for everybody forever. Any other comments? I don't want to monopolize this, but and I listened to that part of the meeting that went on forever, but go ahead, David.
I just can't remember. I know this was brought on by the Ward 5 council member. I just can't remember. Josh, can you remember what the problem was that brought this up for discussion?
Well, it was 2. One, we don't really have the problem in this area. It's in a different area. Was the parking for the ice fishing? That's right. More Go Road, Lakeshore, Laguna, over that way. And then it kind of spilled into, I'm pretty sure it was spilling into the special events over at the marina. The marina asking about having more parking along the road.
Right. Okay. No, yeah, I can't, I sort of agree with you, Larry. The parking has been in Lagoon City, has been driven mainly by with the residents, and this all started before COVID. But yeah, that's what it was. It was a request from the councillor in that area to try to clamp down a little bit on it. So, but I hear you, Larry.
Would it be appropriate if we had a motion from our committee recommending to council that there be no paid parking along the east side of Laguna Parkway from the bridge? Well, I don't know, Josh, we'd need to think of a distance, but
Let me ask Josh. Josh, was that a council meeting or was that a committee of the whole when this is like, has this been ratified?
No, it was committee of the whole. It'll be ratified on Monday, this coming Monday.
On Monday, okay.
Is it appropriate for us to have a motion to go to council on a recommendation?
I don't know if these minutes will be in that council meeting because the agenda is being prepared today. So if you put a motion in, it would come after the fact, I believe.
I can talk to Jacob.
Okay. And about, so are you saying we should have a motion or we shouldn't?
Let's have a motion, and then if it's required, we have it.
Okay, okay,
Because I'd rather have it than not have it while we're all together.
okay. Could someone give us a motion that our recommendation is that there be free parking on the east side of Laguna Parkway from the bridge to what, the Marina Gate, Josh? Would that?
Right, you could always say 300 meters either side of the trailhead, type thing. Even with 300 meters, you get quite a bit of cars in.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know exactly where that kind of fits, but if you kind of keep it vague, it can be determined exactly at a later point. So if you were just to say free parking on the east side of the Laguna in the area of the trailhead.
What about or 100 meters each side? I mean, that's 200 meters. That's a lot of space for cars.
I guess one of the issues I would have is that we don't really have a need for more parking right now, do we?
Well, what we're trying to avoid is for people that come to have to pay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think that's the motion I would like to see, is that we, as a Trails Committee, we want to maintain parking spaces and free parking within at least 300 or 100 meters of each side. For example, at the Laguna space or whatever, like use that as an example so that we have a broader documentation of this.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'll go back and listen to the reasoning on why we decided that. And then maybe I'll have to bring it up at the meeting when we go to ratify the minutes and just say that we'd like to rethink that. But I can't remember, and as I say, I'll listen to the meeting again to figure it. But I think, if I remember correctly, it was brought up, well, why should the trail people get free parking when everybody else that comes down and uses either the beaches or the boat launches or the ice huts have to pay? So I think that was an issue, and I'll have to readdress it. It was like, why would the trail people be exempt? Josh, can you help me here? Do you remember anything about what I'm saying here?
Dana's got her hand up too.
Okay.
Dana?
Yeah. I remember that there was some justification being given by that other counselor who was saying that in the city you have to pay for parking at trails. Maybe we could get a fact check on that, because I don't think that is the case necessarily in Port Credit. But I did remember that the mayor had said that he does not like to vote on anything against what his committees are recommending. So I'm quite certain that, if we bring it up, whether it's an official motion or just in talking, that we can get ahead of it before it's ratified.
Yeah, I can't remember as well if John was going to be bringing a report or if it was just going through. So I think if we do the motion in the committee, Dave or Dana could bring it up on Monday night if we had to, but in the meantime, we'll double check and see what was brought forward at that committee meeting.
Okay. So yes, it will be readdressed on Monday, Larry.
I think Larry's frozen. Go ahead, Ashley.
Just sorry, I was scrambling in the background to see if I could talk to legislative services for you guys. Another suggestion as well, if let's say the motion is to have this go forward on the council meeting, the Trails Committee could also submit or talk, like come to the meeting and actually have that 1-minute discussion or provide that input as well. So that's another alternative. But the council members here also have that input from this committee and can provide that to council, but there is the open forum as well that they can provide some information to or do a deputation.
And is that open forum prior to approving the minutes and ratifying it? Okay.
Yeah, open forum is at the very beginning of a meeting.
Well, I think that would be, I think it's, if somebody wants to do it, I think that'd be great. I think the more time the Trails Committee or representatives or Larry or chairman have in front of the council, that's good. And just explain, we want to really encourage people out, and we don't have a parking issue in that area, but that would be overturning the previous decision. So Larry, you're not there anymore, right, Larry?
No, I'm just waiting for him to come back on.
Okay.
I don't know. We do have Kathy, who is still our co-chair, which we could speak with Kathy about whatever you were going to speak with Larry.
Well, I was just asking Larry if you wanted to go and do a 1-minute presentation. But I think only Larry can answer that question. All right, well, I guess we'll have to move on and come back. Where are we on the agenda? Larry might not be back.
Also, and council may already have access, but we'll be able to look at the council agenda coming up on this Friday. But I think the minutes from the COW meeting is that staff are going to be preparing a report for that area prior to the expansion of Honk. So just to keep that in our mind when we get those minutes, it could be just a staff report that's coming back to a future COW.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that'd be good because there's not a decision really to be made at this point then. Make it paid or not paid, so.
Would it hurt to do a motion just to have it?
No, it wouldn't hurt to keep that motion in there, not at all, so.
How do we do that without Larry?
Well, I can take over as chair until she comes back on if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so who would like to put that motion forward? I was going to, but now I'm chair. So, all right, Charlotte, go ahead.
I can, but I just don't know how to word it. So whatever we said earlier, that's the motion.
Anna, do you have wording there that you would?
So
suggest?
right now I have written down that council representatives are to approach council at the next COW meeting to further discuss the parking along Laguna and to suggest 100 meters on each side of the trailhead to be free parking for trail usage. Please correct me if I have that wrong.
I think that sounds right. And we were also talking about that could also be just in general for all the trailheads, weren't we, or as a standard?
I think we were just speaking about this specific trailhead at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get that motion. So do we have a second for that motion? Okay, Mike. Okay, all in favor? Okay, so it looks like that carried. So I think that was coming under the Lagoon City Trail. I lost the thread a little bit on where that came, but I believe that was that. And then let's move on to South Ramara.
That was under new or unfinished business, so that's the last item on our agenda for
Okay,
today.
all right.
So we just need to close out.
Unless there's any other new or unfinished business.
Is there any new or outstanding business that people want to talk about? No? Okay, so it looks like then we need a motion to adjourn, and then hopefully we'll let Larry know he doesn't have to come back in.
Michael moved that we adjourn.
Okay. I think you need all in favor, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyone want to stay around? Nope, looks like everybody wants to go. Okay. I think that's
Great,
it.
thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Have a good
Bye.
day.
Bye now.